Most people think of communication as a conversation, either vocally or in writing. However, there are other forms of communication, known as nonverbal communication, that do not include words. Let's look at some examples of how we use nonverbal communication. Paralanguage includes vocal sounds that are not words, the delivery of spoken words, and fillers. When someone laughs or cries, you are given a hint about their mood. A snort or sigh may suggest a person's emotional state of mind. Yawning could mean that someone is tired or bored. However, it may simply indicate a lack of oxygen. A gasp could mean that a person is startled or surprised. Some forms of paralanguage may be interpreted differently based on a person's cultural background. For example, slurping in the Western world is often perceived as being rude. However, in many Eastern cultures, slurping is seen as a compliment to the chef. How a person delivers their words is also called paralanguage. The tone of voice, speed, volume, pitch of the speaker are all examples of this type of paralanguage. Fillers such as and like are also included in this category. It is important to keep in mind that our perception or interpretation of the speaker's paralanguage may affect our understanding of the message. To make sure you have an understanding of what is meant by delivery, we will discuss some of the components of spoken language that do not involve words. Every teenager has probably heard a parent or teacher say, "Watch your tone," or "Don't use that tone with me." Tone conveys to the listener the emotional meaning of attitude behind the words. Often we can tell that a person is upset, angry, excited, or bored by the way they are speaking. For example, a teacher may use a firm voice with a student misbehaving, or a mother may talk baby talk to her child. The speed of a person's speech may also give us clues to the meaning behind the words. A person may speak more quickly when they're excited or angry, or more slowly if they are sad or trying to concentrate. Be careful when assigning meaning to the speed of a speaker, because personality, culture, health, situation, or even language can also influence the rate of speech. The volume of a speaker is how loudly they are speaking. Speaking in a loud voice can indicate anger or excitement. Speaking in a soft voice can indicate embarrassment or shyness. Again, be careful about these interpretations. Remember, someone may just be speaking softly because they're in a library. Pitch is the highness and the lowness of your speech on a musical scale. You want to have a variety of highs and lows when you're speaking. A problem may occur if the speaker does not do this. The problem is monotone. No one wants to hear or listen to the economics teacher from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Bueller, Bueller, Bueller. Be aware that when you communicate, other people are listening to your paralanguage in addition to your words. Sometimes words are also considered paralanguage. If a speaker uses meaningless words or sounds that we call that fillers. Often when people are thinking, they will say something such as, like, to fill the silence. When fillers are used in formal conversations or speeches, it can suggest to the listener that the speaker is unprepared, unsure, uncomfortable, or unknowledgeable. Kinesthetic, or movement of our body, is another example of nonverbal communication. Our body movement and position tell those around us a great deal about our intentions, interest, and feelings. Sitting straight, directly facing the speaker, sends the message that you are interested and attentive. If, however, you choose to sit slouched down in your chair with your head tilted, the speaker may assume that you are angry, bored, or disinterested in what he or she has to say. A person walking, shoulders slumped over, head hung low, may appear to be depressed, upset, or very shy. While a person who walks with their head held high, shoulders up, and appearing to know where they are going seems confident and sure of him or herself. Gestures or deliberate hand-arm motions are another example of kinesthetic. For example, gestures such as a thumbs up, a wave, or the peace sign are generally understood by everyone in our culture, but they can mean something very different and possibly offensive in other cultures. As with all communication, it is important to consider a person's culture when decoding these types of messages. It is important to pay attention to the signals that our bodies are sending in order to prevent the wrong message from being sent. Haven't we all been accused of not paying attention in class, or had someone ask why we were so sad, but didn't understand why the other person would think such a thing? Now you know. Oculesics refers to our eye behavior. In Western cultures, eye contact is important and valued. Generally, making eye contact shows the speaker that you are attentive and interested in what they have to say. It is also seen as a sign of confidence. However, too much eye contact could come off as staring and offend some people. In Eastern cultures, eye contact is considered to be rude. In this culture, you should show humility and honor others. Looking at someone so directly is not humbling you. Appearance and artifacts say a good deal about your personality and who you are. Examples of appearance and artifacts are your hairstyle, whether or not you tan or wear makeup, how many and where you have piercings or tattoos, the way you dress, and how you decorate your room or house. These are all objects or changes made to your body or where you live. If you dress sloppy, this can be seen as not caring about yourself or others. However, if you normally dress nicely and appear well put together, this could mean you're sick or something is wrong. Your style of dress and decorative taste tends to tell others what you're interested in. Think about that little kid who is obsessed with Care Bear, Hannah Montana, Transformers, or Batman. They want to decorate with it everywhere or wear anything with the characters. Proxemics has to do with distances and ownership of spaces. There are two types of proxemics: spatial distance zones and territoriality. Let's look at spatial distances first. There are 4 zones for distance. The first and smallest of the 4 is the intimate zone. Although this is the intimate zone, it doesn't mean sexual. By definition, intimate means a characterization by or involving warm friendship, very private or closely personal information. 2 people will be about 3 inches to 18 inches or a foot and a half. In this proximity to each other, conversations tend to be a soft whisper. Confidential or secret information is shared. The next zone is personal zone. This ranges from 1.5 feet to 4 feet. Although you are further away, the voices will still be soft. A person may share personal information or general information about a topic. For instance, the 2 girls in the picture above look like they're studying. They might discuss the homework or a topic that is on the next test. The third zone is the social zone. This ranges from 4 feet to 12 feet. At this point, if you are sharing information to someone else, the speaker will use a full voice. This information ranges from personal to formal and may include the classroom, work, or a party. In our picture, we have people working at cubicles, but the walls are still low enough that they could talk to each other. When going to a party, people will gather in smaller groups to talk. The last zone is the public zone. This is anywhere from 12 feet and up. At this level, the speaker will have to have a slightly louder voice than just a full one. If the audience receivers are further than 25 feet, microphones may be needed. This zone could include a concert or an auditorium. In the picture above, a mall is represented. The distance from one person to most other people in this space is in the public zone. There you have spatial distances. Another part of proxemics is territoriality. This has to do with the ownership or control of spaces. Primary spaces are places that without a doubt are under your control, such as your bedroom. You may share control, but you have a say in how the space is decorated and used. Secondary spaces are not spaces you own, but are associated with you, such as your school. Not just anybody can go to your school. They have to be in the district or have permission to attend the school. This could also be country clubs or gyms where you have to have a membership to attend or use the space. Public spaces are open to all. The public library is open to anyone. Anyone can use the space. City parks, restaurants, and shopping malls are all examples of public spaces. The last type of territoriality is called earmarkers. Earmarkers show temporary ownership of a space. Say you come into your classroom and you place your things down on a desk and go get a drink of water before class. The fact that your things are on the desk let others know that the space has already been taken. Earmarkers are not permanent, but are usually respected and accepted by others. There you have it, territoriality. Haptics refers to touch or contact made between two or more people. This could be a handshake, introduction, high fives for a job well done, slapping someone in anger, a kick in self-defense, a tickle, hug, or kiss. I can't help but think of the old scenario where two siblings are in the back seat of mom's car and mom told the siblings to stop touching each other. Sure enough, one of the siblings invades the other's space, but does not actually touch them. I guess the mother really should say, don't invade each other's space. Olfactics has to do with how a person smells. This could be a good smell or a bad smell. Examples of items that could cause smells are perfumes, body odor, shampoo, soap body wash, laundry detergent, cigarette smoke, mildewed clothes, skunk attack. You get the point. Something you should keep in mind is that not all of us smell things the same way. A person's olfactory glands may change as they get older, too. Something that you think smells wonderful or okay may give someone else a gagging reflex. So keep yourself clean, and when it comes to fragrances, perfumes, colognes, or body sprays, spray them when not around other people or small spaces, and don't spray much. Also, when you go on a job interview, don't wear strong perfume or cologne. You never know when the person interviewing you may be allergic to your scent. Chronemics applies to time management and the way you prioritize things in your life. Are you usually early, on time, or late for class or appointments? It is important to know the expectations of other people involved when planning your arrival. For example, in some cultures, it is appropriate and expected for guests to arrive up to 2 hours after the given event time. A wedding, graduation, or job interview, however, are examples of events when the time is strictly followed. Therefore, arriving fashionably late would not be acceptable. Remember to know the expectations and manage your time accordingly. If you are going somewhere you have never been, it would be a good idea to drive there before the day and or leave early the day of the event in order to allow enough time for wrong turns, construction, or traffic. Chronemics also refers to how you live your life. Do you tend to look to the future, live for the moment, or constantly relive your past? When it comes to projects or assignments, do you get them done as soon as they're assigned? Do you break the work down and do a little at a time? Or procrastinate and wait to the last minute? Another aspect of chronemics relates to how you prioritize people in your life. Do family and friends take priority, or does work come first? Facial expressions are similar to body movement, but it is the muscles in your face that allow us to understand a person's emotional state. Through facial expressions, we can see if a person is frightened, angry, sad, happy, surprised, annoyed, and many more. Facial expressions often speak more about how a person is feeling than their words. How many times have you been told by a friend, "Everything's fine," yet you can see the disappointment and sadness in their face? Facial expressions also give the speaker clues as to whether or not the someone understands what they are saying. So it is important to pay attention to these not so subtle nonverbal clues. Since facial expressions are not seen through emails, text messages, or instant messages, it can be difficult to tell how a person is feeling. So emoticons were created to allow the sharing of feelings through text. If you were to break down the word emoticon, it means emotional symbol, which is literally what is created, a symbol or icon to represent the emotion you are feeling. Emoticons can be made using keys on the keyboard or a program that has generated cartoon-looking emoticons like the ones we have used in this presentation. These emoticons allow for more emotional expression than just words. By using these in emails, text messages, and instant messages, you can help the receiver clearly understand your intent. Besides, it's fun.